The border agent's eyes didn't blink. He scanned my wife's driver's license, stared at his monitor, and froze, like something on that screen had turned his blood to ice. His expression shifted, subtle but unmistakable, a flicker of recognition, then fear. He picked up the phone, turned slightly away, whispered something low and deliberate. When he hung up, he looked at me. "Sir, I'm going to need you to step inside for a moment." "Is there a problem?" I asked. "Please just trust me. Leave your wife here and come with me." His tone wasn't procedural, it was pleading. Outside, the wind howled across the snow-slick tarmac. Inside, my pulse kept a colder rhythm. I looked at her. She smiled, small and tense, pretending everything was fine. But her hands were clasped too tightly in her lap. Then, sirens. 3 police SUVs glided in from the side road. Unmarked, black, deliberate. The agent sighed, removed his glasses, and turned the monitor toward me. What I saw didn't make sense. My wife's face, same photo, same name, different nationality, different husband. I went cold. The drive back from the border was silent. She claimed it was a clerical mistake. Her voice was smooth, almost too calm, like she'd rehearsed this moment long before it arrived. I didn't argue, didn't accuse, didn't even look at her. That's what scared her. I just nodded, quietly. Inside, something fractured. But it wasn't anger, it was precision. A sharp, focused kind of stillness. I replayed every detail in my head. Her sudden insistence we visit Canada. Her anxious laughter when I suggested we fly instead of drive. The way she'd snapped her passport shut every time I glanced over. She'd said she was born in Calgary, but the agent's screen listed her birth city as Warsaw. And her husband was a man I'd never heard of, listed as deceased 2 years ago. At home, she tried to touch me. I let her hand linger on my arm, then gently removed it. No words, no confrontation. That night, I lay awake next to her, listening to the slow rhythm of her breathing. The sound was once comforting, now it was foreign, like I was listening to a stranger practice the sound of sleep. Something deep in me knew this wasn't her first life, and maybe I wasn't her first husband. Over the next week, I became methodical, collected small truths like fingerprints. She'd go to the store, never more than 20 minutes, but her car tracker app showed she parked behind a government office once. Another day, near a private postbox rental. I made no moves, I simply watched. I copied her old passport from the drawer, compared numbers. Different issue country, different date of birth. At night, I listened. Her sleep-talking returned, murmurs in a language she once told me she didn't know. Polish. I recorded one, played it back to her over breakfast, pretending I found it funny. She laughed too loudly, too quickly, but her hand trembled when she lifted her coffee. Then I found it, an envelope taped beneath the drawer of her vanity. Inside, 2 IDs, one with her current name, one with a different last name. Same photo, same cold eyes. I checked online databases, buried government sites. She'd filed immigration papers under both identities. One was missing, presumed dead. She'd been living parallel lives, one here, one before. And somehow, the border caught the ghost she thought she buried. I kept my composure. At dinner, I told her I was planning a surprise weekend trip, somewhere quiet, no passports required. She smiled, relieved. Good. Let her relax. Let her believe she was still winning. I drove her back to the same border station the next week, told her I'd sorted out the clerical mistake. The same agent was there. He recognized her immediately, but said nothing. He just looked at me, then gave a small nod. I handed him a sealed envelope. Inside, copies of both IDs, immigration records, marriage licenses. One with my name, one with the dead man's. He read them, exhaled slowly. "Sir, you did the right thing," he said quietly. Her voice cracked. "What's going on?" I didn't answer. They pulled her aside gently. She tried to reach for me, but I stepped back. For once, she looked afraid. Not the feigned kind she used to manipulate sympathy, but the real kind. The kind born when a mask is finally torn away. "Who are you?" I asked. She opened her mouth, closed it, and in that silence, I found my answer. They held her in a small room. Frosted glass, fluorescent light. I watched from the other side. When the agent told her the records would trigger an international warrant, her face collapsed in slow motion, like a glass shattering under the weight of realization. She tried to speak to me through the glass, mouthing words I refused to read. I stood there, hands in my pockets, expression neutral. Not gloating, not grieving, just finished. Her entire world, the carefully built lies, the new identity, the second chance, crumbling in real time. And I didn't have to raise my voice, didn't have to hurt her. All I had to do was show the truth. When they led her away, she turned once more, tears streaming, voice barely audible. "Please, don't leave me like this." I tilted my head slightly. I already did. I crossed the border alone that night. The road stretched endlessly ahead. Cold asphalt, empty sky. Her perfume still lingered faintly on my jacket. I rolled down the window, let the wind erase it. I thought of all the moments that had once felt real, the laughter, the intimacy, the quiet mornings. Each memory now felt staged, rehearsed. And yet, I wasn't angry anymore, just awake. Sometimes the cruelest truth isn't the betrayal itself, but realizing how long you lived inside it, thinking it was love. As the lights of the crossing disappeared in my rearview mirror, I felt nothing. No pity, no loss, only clarity. She'd built her freedom on lies. I reclaimed mine with silence. And silence, I learned, can be the loudest kind of revenge.